Welcome to Just Puzzling. My name is Chris. Today we're going to do a Killer Sudoku at the expert level. Let's get into it and see how we go. Alright, so let's start with this box here. So I'm going to start with a couple of bits of information about a Killer Sudoku. In every row, column and box we have to have the numbers 1 to 9. When I add all of those numbers, 1, 2, 3, right through to 9, they add up to 45. So what I have here is I have the 45 here plus an extra one where it crosses over out of that box. So what you'll find is this is going to add up to more than 45, and whatever the difference between 45 and that number is going to be our number. So 18 plus 13 is 41, plus 14 is 45, plus 8 is 53, but it's irrelevant because that's going to be an 8. Okay, so this is how I start to sort of look at it. You can see here's another box with 1 in there, which is going to be the number short. So 10 plus 9 is 19, plus 9 is 28, plus 8 is 36, so that's going to be a 9. Alright, we can see here that this will have a crossover of 2, but I don't know what that is. So we know that the numbers that add up to 14 are 8 and 6. Can't be 8 because it's got to be an individual number in there. So this is 5 and 9. 8 can be here, 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 or here because it's already in that cell. So we can't, or cage, sorry. So we can't find that. We can see that this is going to be 6. 15 minus 9 is 6. There's a spare, I know that's 6, there's a spare cage over here. So 20 plus 6 is 26, plus 8 is 34. This is 11, so that'll be a 4. Alright. We know the highest, we know the highest number in there can be a 6. So this could be 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 6. They're the numbers that make up that. What else do we know? Not much. So this is 9 and 5. This must be 6 and 7. So 9 and 5. If that's 6 and 7, 9 and 5, down here is going to be 1, 2, 3. So that's 6. So that adds up to 21, and that's 6. So 21 minus 6, that's 15. Alright, so 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 5 is 35, so that's 10, and that'll be 11. Hmm. 24. Okay, so here's an interesting thing we've got. We have a row down here that needs 1 to 9, okay? What I've got here is I've got 8 plus 12 plus 4, which is 24. To make that up to 45, that 24 has to be 21. 21 plus 9 is 30, plus 39, that means that to get it up to 45 is a 6, and then to get that to 14 is an 8. Okay, so we also know that this is 6. Remember, this is 1, 2, 3, because we can say this is 6 and 7, this is 5 and 9. 1, 2, 3, so 6 plus 14 is 20, plus 20 is 40, so that's a 5. What I love about this is 1 and 3 here means that this has to be a 2 and a 6, because the other numbers that go with an 8 are 3 and 5. Can't use that in the 1 and 3, and 1 and 7. So 2 and 6 works here. This can't be an 8 and 4, so 4 is going to be down there somewhere. And remember that this was 21. So the other two digits has to be an 8 and 9. So this is going to be 5 and 7, 6 and 2, 4, 8, 9. I just don't know where the 4 is. But if that's a 4, that means that has to have a 1. Because the only time I can have a 4 in here is with a 2 and a 3. So 1 is at the top. And 6 is out. So it's 1, 3, 5 there. 1, 3, 5. So that's 2 and 7. Remember, this is 2 and 6. So 2 and 7. So that's a 2 there. That's a 6. 6 can be here, here, or here. This here can't be 5 and 3. Can't be 8 and 1. Can't be, sorry, 5 and 4. Can't be 6 and 3. So this is 2, 7 there. Okay. So 6 is here. This is 6 and 2. So 6 and 2 there. Remember, this is 2 and 7, so that's a 2, and that's a 7. 7, 5 there, so this is 5, 3, 1. 5, 3, 1, this could be 9 and 4, or 7 and 6. Okay, can't be 7 and 6, so that's 7 and 2. Okay, so this is 9 and 4. This is 6 and 4, apparently. So 7, so that's a 6. 4's out. 4, 9, is that 4, 9 there? Yeah, it's got to be 4, 9 there. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's there. Okay, that's 14. That leaves 7. So this is going to be 3 and 4 here. Do I know 3 and 4? Do I know the 4? I know the 4's there, so that's got to be the 4, and that's got to be the 3. So we know that's 3 there, so 3 and 1, so I knew that. But what that does do for me is gives me the 1. 5 and 7, 9 and 4. So this is going to be 4, 9, 7, because once it's got to a 4 into here, the only 2 digits, that leaves it 16. The only 2 digits for 16 is 9 and 7. So this is 7 and 6, which I knew. So if that's a 4, that can't be 4 and 2, so that's got to be a 1, and that's got to be a 5, which leaves that as 6 and 2. And this as 3 and 8. I know this number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's a 9. Three and 8 there. 2 and 6, 9 and 5, 9 and 4. So 1 is going to be in one of those with an 8. 2, 4, 5. So 2, 7 works. 3, 6 does not work. So this can be, so 3 has got to be there. That leaves 9, which is going to be either 2, 7 or 1, 8. So this here is 8 and 7. End of discussion. So 8 and 7 there. 9 can be there, can it? 8 is 15, 15, it's 35. That could be 9 and 1. Okay. Six. 6 can be there, or there. Handy. 6. Okay, so what are we looking at here? 6 can be here, 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 or here. 2, 3, 9. So that's 9 there. I know 9's up there. I know 5's there. Okay. What are we thinking? We're thinking 9 and 5 there, but after that we don't think at all. 9 and 4, 5 and 7, 7 and 2, so 2 is going to be potentially 2 and 8 or 2 and 7. So 10 here might be interesting. 10 could be 6, 1, 3, lost interest. Could be 2, 3, 5, could be 1, 4, 5. Yeah, lost interest in that. Okay. So, if you're 20, so let's go through. If you're 21, you're a 6 plus 22, 28, 34, you're 11 there. So 11 can be a lot of things. So this is either 3 and 7 or 1 and 9. Okay, I'm going to make an assumption here that if that's 9 and 5, that can't be 9 and 5 because I wouldn't know the right answer, but I do. So we'll disregard that thought. One, 2. Okay, I know that's 2 and 6. Does that help me in any way? 2 and 6. So 2 and 6 I know is there. I know that this is 8 and 3. So 3's got to be down here. $27 can be, oh wait a minute, can 4 fit into that? 4, 27 is 2, 4, so that could be 6, 8, 9. So that's definitely got a 9 in it there. If that had a 9, it would either be 2, 4 or 1, 5, so that all works. So if that's 9 and 4 there, 13, that leaves 14, which is 8 and 6, so that works. So 9 is there, 9 is not going to be there, so 9 could be there, there, there or there, 9 can be there. Okay, not helpful. Nine, 5, 6, 7, 6. So this can be 1 and 9 or 3 and 7, but outside of that, which means that this is either 2 and 3 or 1 and 4. Okay. So 4 can't be there. 4 cannot be there. Right, so that makes sense. So 4 is one of these, which means 4 is up here. Eight, 9, 6, that works. 4, 2 works. So if that was 4 and 2, that'd be 2 and 6. You know, I think I'd be away with the races, but it's not that easy. 1 and 5. So I've got 2 and 6 there. I've got 3 can be there or there, so that's 3 is that column. 3 can be 3, 7 or 3, 6. Alright, this is starting to test me, my patience. 7 and 5. Because I know all the numbers in this area here, which is testing it. I know that's 8 and 7. So 8, can I do this without an 8? No, I cannot, because it's definitely a 9 there. Cannot be with an 8, because if it's a 4 and 8's there, so one of these two is an 8. So one of them's an 8, 9, 4. Because I'm saying that's 8 there. Alright, so let's work through this. 8 has to be there. 6 has to be there. 4 and 9 can be there. 8, 7. Where does 1 go? 1 can go there, there or there. 3 can go in all of them except for the 6. Okay. Okay, that's no good. So 8 and 7. So 8 can't be there, but can be there, there or there. Okay. So 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 13 is 27. So this is 18. What's going to give me 18? So 18 can be 6, 5, so 6, 9, 3. So that to me is sort of saying, so 5, 9 is 14, 27, 27, so this is 18. If that's a 6, that's a 9. 6 and 9 is 15, that's a 3. That doesn't work. So if that's a 5, that's a 6, that's a 7. That doesn't work. If that's a 5, that's a 7, 12, and 6. That actually works. So that's a 5, that's a 6, 8, 9, 7, 6. Alright, so my logic was in terms of that, is I had to find high enough numbers to get me to 18, but if I'd worked the other way around, as soon as I put a 9 in here, that number was never going to be high enough. So 9 had to be there, 5, and then from there it could have been 6 and 7. Well, that didn't work, or 7 and 6, which did work. So what that means now, this is because this is a 13, 5 and 8's out, 6 and 7's out, so that the only other numbers that could possibly be is 9 and 4, and the 9 is there. So we also knew that 9 has to be there, and that's a 4. Okay, so we still know that that's 8 and 3, we still know that, but what this has done here is it means that that can't be a 4 and 1, it's got to be a 2 and 3, which means 3 has to be one of those two. Okay, so remember this was 8 and 7, so because of that 7, that's an 8, that's a 7, that's a 1, So this is 2 and 3. I just don't know which way. Okay. So this is 1, 7. So 6 is out. So 2 is in here somewhere. 2 is in here. 2 and 3 is there. 3 and 1. 3 is one of these two. If that's the case, this would be 8, 9, 7, 3. Works. Still 1, 3, 5 here, 2, 7 there. Can't find any of those. If that's a 7, that's a 1 and a 2. So 15, 15, 35. So 5 can't be there. So this is 5. And one of those ones there. 2, 3, 5. 1, 9, 4, 6. So 4, 6 can't be there. So 4 is here. That means that 6 has got to be there. Okay. 4 and 5. So 6 can be here or here. 4, 5. So 4, 5. So 5 can be here. If that's a 5, that leaves 2 and 3. Now, let's go through that. So 5 there, 2 and 3. That's 2 and 3, so that can't be possibly that. So this here is a 5 and 3, which leaves me with a 7 there, 1 and 2. So that's a 2, that's a 3, 4, 5, 9, 1. Okay. Interesting. 9 can't be there, so 9 is definitely there. 5, 7, 5. 5 and 1 works. 5 works there, so that's 5. 1, 2. So 4 has to be up here, 4 and 5. Because that 4 and that 4 can't be 4 there, so that's 4 and 5. So that's 2 and 6. So if the 6 is in there, that can't be a 6, that can't be a, sorry, 6 is there, that can't be a 3, can't be a 3, so that's got to be a 7, that's got to be a 3. Over here is, remember, the 7 and 2. Okay, so 2 and 1 gives me the 18. 8 can't be there because that would be 8 and 0, so that's 8 and 1. Okay. 2 and 6, 8 and 1. So what's the other number? 2 and 7. So 2 and 6, mainly because of that 2 there. And that leaves 4 and 5. 4 and 5 there. So that means that's a 5. That's a 3. No, that's a 3. 1, 5. So now I know that 1 and 5 can't be there because of that 1. So that's a 4 and that's a 2. Which means that's a 2 and that's a 3. Still got 5 and 7 there. So this is 3 and 5. Alright, 3 can't be there, 3 can't be there, so 3 can't be there, so that's a 3, and that's a 5. What that means is that can't be a 6, because this is now, the only numbers are 7, 8, and 9. So 7, 8, 9. Remember I said that was a 4. Remember I said that that was a 7 and 5. Still don't know where the 1, 3 is. No, I do. 3, 1. Leave me with a 1 there. So this is going to be 8 and 9 here to take that from the 5 to there. So because of the 8 there, that's going to be a 9, that's going to be an 8. 8 there, 3, 2, 6, 7, 9, 4. So no, that's a 7, that's a 9, that's a 4. And that all started because of the 4 and 9 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1 and 9 from memory. 1 and 9. And this is 4 and 5. Up here is still 4 and 5. There's a 5 there, so that's 4 and 5. Alright. Interesting how I solved that. I don't normally solve it that way. Pretty slow time, just under 26 minutes. But until next time, bye for now.